who desires to see change in his community and to make a difference. I'm doing the little that I can, and I'm supported by Kenyans who are also willing to do the little that they can, and together we are doing a lot. I'm a father of 2 children. I'm a husband to 1 wife. I'm an employer to more than 85 people in our country. My business is furniture business. It's called Morara Home Furniture. I have other investments elsewhere, like car rental and other investments. And I am the pioneer of something called the Vampire Diaries, which goes around the country to check on stalled projects where money has been stolen and nothing was done. And that program has been able to impact people in a way that has never been seen before, and to wake up sleeping lions. And Kenyans are waking up to know that the poverty that they live in is manufactured and that it is not real, that our country is rich, there's plenty of resources, enough for everyone, and that if we just had good leadership, there will be no poverty, disease, or despair in the youth, women, and fathers of our country. And I'm here today to share moments with you. Is Kenya really that bad? Or is Morara only pointing the bad side of Kenya? I know many Kenyans ask themselves that question. I want to assure you it's bad. It's really bad. It's extremely bad. I'll paint it in picture and figures. Let's begin with figures. By the time Kibaki left, he left a debt of 1.89 trillion, a public debt. Deni ya Kenya, 1.89 trillion. Now you guys know Kibaki for a lot of things. You know him for roads, you know him for expressway, you know him for Vision 2030, you know him for Konza City, you know this guy for many things. By the time Kibaki came in, there were like 3 or 4 universities. By the time he left, you can see how many universities were there. He gave a charter literally to every region. So we know Kibaki for so many things. All that Kibaki did, and the wealth we made, or our parents made, 1.89 trillion. In comes Uhuru. And in 10 years, he borrows up to 8 trillion. He goes 8 times what Kibaki did, but with half of what Kibaki achieved. 80% of the money was stolen. And it cannot be gainsaid. The examples are so numerous, if you count them, you'll get tired. SGR, a budget of 400 billion. We paid it with our taxes, then still received money from Exim Bank of China, and it was stolen. Half of the money was stolen, 400 billion. More than 200 billion was stolen through fake land compensation for people on the land along the SGR. 600 billion was stolen. That is SGR. Let's come to Huduma number. Look at how much money was stolen through Huduma number. Until Maisha number, 1 billion recently was stolen. Let's come to BBI. How much money was stolen through BBI? Forget BBI. Let's talk about COVID-19. Over 200 billion, a grant that we received to buy safety PPEs for health workers, ndio at least wakikutreat wasipatwe na COVID. It went. Pesa nipo paka ya wagonjwa. Laptops project. How much money was stolen on the laptops projects for school-going kids? Anything that you saw during Uhuru's time, if it happened and it was completed with a lot of theft. Uhuru and Ruto amended our constitution using a law, something that you can't do. It's illegal. But they did it because of that thing Mutai Nyungunyi used to call tyranny of numbers. Parliament has been the biggest failure because Parliament passed a law under the Public Finance Management Act that allowed Kenya to be able to open foreign accounts abroad and to pay suppliers directly without taking the money to the consolidated fund. Remember, we have a consolidated fund, which is one basket, where all our money goes in, our taxes, our borrowings, where our loans goes in. So pesa yote inaingia kwa hiyo kikapu moja. Then it is spent from there with the control of a person, an independent office called the Controller of Budget. Then it is audited by an independent office called the Auditor General. Abroad, borrow abroad and spend abroad without even bringing it to Parliament to be allocated through a budget or through a supplementary budget. So what does Uhuru do? They borrow $2 billion in a bank in the US called JP Morgan Chase. They have no shame. They open an account in the name of Kenya Wealth Sovereign Fund, when they know in their hearts Kenya does not have a wealth sovereign fund. Hatunanga, haiko. But they created an account and called it Kenya Wealth Sovereign Fund. They deposited $2 billion in it. Gone. It was transferred to another bank account in Qatar. You know, $2 billion is more than 200 and maybe 60 billion Kenya shillings. Hiyo kitu nikiamua kujenga level 5 hospitals, najenga 2 kila county, zikiwa paka na MRI machine. Najenga cancer center bana, najenga kila constituency, 290 of them. I can build 290 cancer centers in every constituency. That's what that money can do. Nilete tu hiyo 260 billion. Na niseme, if you are 35 years and below and you don't have a job and you don't have a title deed or a logbook to borrow money from a bank, here is money. Borrow it, do a business and pay back. Now I've taken my people out of poverty. Hiyo ni wizi moja. Hiyo ndo impact ya wizi moja. That's Uhuru. On the last day when he is leaving, when he now knows Ruto will win, on the day of election, wakati wewe umepanga kwa line unapiga kura, Uhuru ako kwa treasury. His hand is in the cookie jar. He is stealing 12 billion. Ya mwisho. Yani the last nail on the coffin. Ile DJ Afro anasema picha mwisho. The guy is in our treasury. He steals 12 billion in the pretext that it is going to buy shares for Telcom, and that is going to buy shares for Africa Trade and Development Bank, and that it is going to buy shares for Africa Export-Import Bank. The money gets lost. Africa Trade and Development Bank wanaulizwa na Auditor General, hiyo pesa iko wapi, shares ziko wapi? Wanasema hawajui and they have no response. Exim Bank wanauliza Africa Exim Bank, kuna shares za Kenya hapo zilinunuliwa na pesa yetu. Wanasema we have no comments, sisi hatujui, hakuna pesa tumepokea hapa. Telcom, Jamhuri Holdings, kuko aje huko? Msituingize kwa hiyo maneno. 12 billion. That's on the last day that this guy is leaving. Then you tell me that the young people of Kenya deserve to go to Qatar to be house helps. Why yet we are rich? We are not poor. We are a wealthy country. We can survive without a loan. Hiyo 12 billion, if I inject it into agriculture and tell the youth, I have identified, we have these 100,000 acres of land. The youths who are passionate about agriculture, kujeni. Kila mtu 100 acres. Okay? Nyanya, kitunguu, watermelon. Seeds, serikali ndio ita provide. Nyinyi chapa kazi. Chakula, local consumption, ikikuwa mingi, export. Hapa kando ninawajengea